Witch spell descriptions. Relieve suffering. This spell will instantly restore 2d2 health points to any wounded character, healing without scars. It cannot make the current health point score exceed the normal level and will not bring a character back from the dead. Relieve suffering can be cast in successive rounds on the same wound. Indeed, more than one application might be necessary with this low echelon healing spell. Relieve suffering also stems any excessive bleeding the recipient was suffering. Emancipate. Emancipate instantaneously releases the subject from any non-magical bonds such as rope, chains, cages, etc. if the restraint is magical in origin. For instance, a wizard cage spell. Then an O manipulation versus magic points roll is made on a d20 to determine success or failure. Conceal presence. A spell that is very similar in effect to the Mystic Pass Unseen spell in that it precludes those that it has an effect on from seeing the recipient of Conceal Presence. The difference is in the way that it is resolved in game terms. A character who has Concealed Presence cast upon him or her will remain unnoticed unless someone deliberately scrutinizing the area. This includes sentries that are on duty, even if they are only semi-attentive, unless an O manipulation, of caster, versus perception, of guard, etc. roll is failed on a d20. Minor Daydream. The subject of this spell will cease doing what they were doing and stand motionless to contemplate a better time and place. If attacked, the Minor Daydream spell is broken. Assisted Recall. Recall is used to remember specific details of what may have been forgotten. If specific information, even incredibly long numbers, details from maps or documents, speech or other sources needs to be accessed, this is the appropriate spell. Recalled information is only available for the spell expiry roll. Recall also completely negates the effect of the Wizard Forget spell. Neutralizing Squall. Within d4 rounds of the words of this incantation being uttered, a dark, localized cloud appears above the caster. The neutralizing squall from this cloud removes consecration or desecration from the ground that it falls on, in d4 rounds, and puts out any fires within d3 rounds. If this spell is cast in an area where a black rain, holy rain or squall of rancid blood spell is in operation, then it is an O manipulation of the witches versus the resilience of the caster of the black rain / holy rain / squall of rancid blood to see which spell dominates. Uncover Supernatural. Uncover Supernatural makes any magical equipment or enchantment / aura visually obvious to the caster. Stronger magic will emit a brighter glow. Different types of magic glow in differing shades. Burgeoning Roots. Even though Burgeoning Roots works on weapons, an O manipulation versus resilience roll is required. When Burgeoning Roots is successfully cast, any weapons that the victim is holding sprout magical roots that attempt to burrow into their flesh. The Burgeoning Roots have an armor bypass of d20, plus genetics bonus of the caster, and if they successfully penetrate the armor they inflict d20, plus genetics bonus p damage and completely disable the weapon. A hit roll is made for this unusual attack, but only to see whether it becomes a critical hit, a 1, or an unlucky miss, 20. Critical hits should be rolled again for lethal, and if the O manipulation exceeds the resilience of the victim 13 or more, then a 20 should be re-rolled for a normal hit. Even if the Burgeoning Root does not completely disable the weapon in hand, it causes d20 attack / mattack / tattack on affected weapons, and d10 defense per hand. This is re-rolled and compounds each round until the maximum amount, a negative modifier equal to the caster's genetics, is reached. A spell expiry roll determines the duration of Burgeoning Roots, but any damage is real and remains. Burgeoning Roots is especially deadly if multiple small throwing weapons like screws or shuriken are being held. ITCH. Itch is used on weak enemies that the witch needs to reduce in effectiveness. It can take effect on up to d9 individuals. It causes an annoying and persistent itch that reduces mattack, attack, tattack and defense by d3 per round, rolled once for each individual per round and applied to all of these scores, and compounds until the individual takes a full round to scratch it, which resets the modifier. Hover. Hover works on a single being. Its effect is to make it impossible for the target to proceed in raising them up to them off the surface of the ground. He or she may perform actions on the spot but cannot move any closer or even retreat from the witch. The spell is broken if the subject is attacked. Incriminate. This spell is similar to the thief spell used by wizards to steal personal items that a character is not holding, but are on him / her. It is more insidious, however, as it transfers the object in question to a third party. If Incriminate is cast on someone with regards to the caster's possession, in order to point out that it was stolen by them, then only a single O manipulation versus perception roll is required. However, if the transfer is to take place between two other people, the roll to see whether Incriminate works is that of magical power versus alertness, roll under O manipulation, of caster, - perception, of victim, on d20, and O manipulation versus resilience on the intended recipient. If either of these rolls are failed, then the character that Incriminate was aimed at has noticed the item vanishing, in which case the spell ceases to work. If the roll is successful, then the intended recipient will have the specified object in his / her hands or in a pouch or backpack they are carrying, or else it will drop at their feet. Exposed Illusion. This gives the witch the power to see through all illusions, no matter how grand. Debilitate. This spell reduces a character's reflexes score by d4 per / round. If Debilitate expires or is terminated before the target dies, his slasher reflexes will return to him 1 point per slash round until back at its normal level. Daydream. Return Well-Being. Return Well-Being will return 3d4 health points to a wounded character. This spell cannot make a character's health points exceed normal levels and is useless on a dead character. Deceive. Makes it impossible for the target of this spell to tell whether someone is lying to them. They may suspect that a person is being deceitful, but even the most obvious lies will not be able to be comprehensively thought of as such. Deceive is best employed when the party that you are conversing with has at least some chance of believing you in any case. Demolish triggers. This causes the triggers for non-magical traps within its 50 meters range to be utterly destroyed. This means that mechanical and time traps cease to operate indefinitely. Tripwire snap, fuses are dissolved, etc. Demolish triggers is less successful on pits of spikes or other natural traps which require no trigger. Inverted hover. Inverted hover turns the target upside down in the air, just above the ground, and thereby immobilizes them. They can still move and flex their bodies. The penalty for engaging in combat in this way is half attack, round up, half attack, round down, and half throwing range, 1/3 MATAC, round up, and 1/4 defense, round up, although the last two only come into play if there is someone close enough. The effect lasts for a standard witch spell expiry roll. The inverted hover spell is broken if the subject is attacked by the caster. Clarity. Using clarity, a witch can see all things for what they are. Assassins in disguise, demons in the guise of humans, cadavers and the living dead, illusionary disguises, etc. De-animate object. This spell works on all kinds of animated objects. It de-animates golems, automaton and all kinds of technomancy. The only drawback with de-animate object is that a successful MATAC versus defense roll must be made if the object is defending itself. Ascend. Range, personal spell expiry roll applies, rolled 2 rounds in advance. Ascend gives the caster the ability to fly at 4d20m per slash round. The spell expiry roll is made 2 rounds in advance. I can feel the magic fading, so that the spell can be recast at flying high. Sufficiency. The sufficiency spell makes it so that the witch's physical state with regards to nutrition and hydration revert to the last substantial and sufficient meal that he or she had. In short, as long as the witch has magic points, he or she need not eat or drink for a substantial period of time. This sufficiency can be used contiguously for as many days as the witch has as his slasher O manipulation score. After that time, food and water must be sought. Exchange position. Range, 150 meters, O manipulation versus resilience, direct attack magic. Makes the caster change geographical positions with the subject of exchange position in a shower of lurid white sparks and flash of cold steam. Dim light. Radius, 50 meters, spell expiry roll applies, lumen magic. Dim light lowers the ambient amount of light in an area such that all suffer -6 to perception, -3 attack, -2 to attack and -1 MATAC / defense whilst it is in effect. No non-magical light can cancel these modifiers out. Magical light must roll O manipulation versus magic points invested to function. Secret warning. Range, 150 meters, spell expiry roll applies, witch magic. A witch can warn a comrade of impending danger by a pre-arranged signal that can be chosen by the player, for example ears get warm, itchy elbow, etc. Bullet ward. Range, personal / 50 meters O manipulation versus resilience, spell expiry roll applies, witch protection / defensive magic. The effect of bullet ward is to make the recipient very difficult to target with projectiles that are fired within range. The caster's genetics is added to the adverse factors that subtract from the shooter's attack. Divine consultation. Allows the caster 3 direct questions with an answer no longer than 3 words to the spirit world, GM. The spirits will have a 93% chance of knowing the answer, otherwise they remain silent. Control wind. Dampens the severity of air magic and natural storms alike. D20 PP from air-based magic. Control wind has no effect on direct attack spells such as decompression or lightning spells, and only counteracts the wind element of spells like Cyclone of Blades. Entrance. Snaps elementalists, wizards, monks, mystics and various others out of trances. This spell has no effect on Blood Rage or Song of Battle, but can be used to negate Death Vow. Enforce Singularity. Radius, 50 meters, O manipulation versus resilience / magic points, anti-magic. Dispels all doppelgangers, decoys, clones, copies, etc. Quantum repetition. This spell makes a repeat of the last round happen again. This can be devastating if an enemy was just struck with a significant blow. Quantum repetition can also be used to negate the wizard spell Quantum Skip. Resolve. Resolve will protect the subject from all forms of morale-based spells, such as the Overlord spell Dolor and all forms of suicide. It also adds plus D11 to resolve if a character has this quasi-attribute. Befuddle. Range, 50 meters, O manipulation versus resilience, spell expiry roll applies, direct attack magic. Befuddle can affect up to D7 beings. Those who succumb become magically befuddled. Each round before they act they must roll a d11. 1 to 4 equals the character can act normally. 5 equals the individual can defend his/herself but cannot think beyond that to perform any other action. 6 equals the character moves erratically in a random direction, normal movement rate. 7 equals the character places the weapon or item in his/her hands on the ground in front of them. 8 to 10 equals bewildered, the character turns to fight his/her comrades. 11 equals he or she snaps out of the spell immediately, regardless of whether the spell expiry roll has come up. Protection from ice. Range, touch, spell expiry roll applies. Rolled 1 round in advance, protection magic. Gives the caster protection against mundane freezing and ice unless a critical hit is rolled against him/her. This spell halves the amount of damage done by magical ice and frost etc. round down. Conclude magic. This anti-magical spell is variable in the amount of magic points used. Conclude magic destroys any enchantment where the amount of magic points spent on this spell exceeds the target spell. It has the standard witch range of 50 meters. Serious Daydream. This effect of this spell is the same as the previous Daydream spells except for its exceptional duration. Deep Burgeoning Roots. This spell is similar, yet more serious and damaging than the previous Burgeoning Roots. If successful. Hurling Frenzy. Recede Waters. Makes a d20m wide pathway through water, however deep it may be, by compelling the water to drain away temporarily into the earth. Recede Waters cannot be cast where either shore or the riverbed etc. is holy or desecrated ground. Again, Recede Waters is a spell where the magic can be felt to ebb away, so as to allow a recast. Thrice Tithe. A character affected by this spell loses 1/3 off all scores. DH Broom Magic. Basic Broom, +1 manipulation or speed with broom spells, DB +1, 2p/1p, long melee. Dust Cloud. This spell is cast by frantically sweeping an arc around the caster's feet with the enchanted broom. It stirs up a cloud of magical dust that is harder to see through than smoke, even if Dust Cloud is cast indoors on clean marble tiles or wood. The Dust Cloud subtracts 11/22/33 from attack and attack, -5 attack and -9 defense. The caster and any other witches are not affected by Dust Cloud, although non-witch allies may be if they are in the radius of effect. Genetism. Dust Cloud lasts for a witch standard spell expiry roll and can be dispelled as any other spell. Dust Cloud costs a minimum of 8 magic points to cast. Higher Learning. The character who chooses this skill of the mighty will spend many long nights of study to achieve mastery over advanced technical subjects. The result is to increase intellect by +1. It may be chosen once by witches. Create Facet Band, Minor. Choosing this skill of the mighty at 8th rank or higher will mean that the witch involved will be able to form magical armbands/bracelets out of a specific metal. This facet band will grant the wearer +1 to one of his/her scores. You can only choose to learn about how to make one of the types. If you choose this level of skill of the mighty again, you will be able to produce +1 facet bands of another type, though most witches tend to focus their energy on one of their attributes and choose the next level of this skill of the mighty with the same type of band. Up 4 bands may be worn at once, providing 2 were designed to go around the ankles, and 2 the arms. No benefit, however, can be gained by wearing 2 bands of the same type. The bonuses are not cumulative. They take 6 months to complete. Facet bands cannot be worn on the same appendage as wizard aspect bands. Facet leg bands can only be produced if leg bands is chosen as a skill of the elite at 15th rank of higher. Lesser band of Capricorn +1 to O manipulation platinum. Lesser band of Virgo +1 to resilience electrum. Lesser band of Cancer +1 to Matak lead. Lesser band of Aries +1 to Tatak aluminium. Lesser band of Sagittarius +1 to Batak tin. Lesser band of Libra +1 to defense pewter. Create facet band, major. Band of Capricorn +2 to O manipulation platinum. Band of Virgo +2 to resilience electrum. Band of Cancer +2 to Matak lead. Band of Aries +2 to Tatak aluminium. Band of Sagittarius +2 to Batak tin. Band of Libra +2 to defense pewter. Create facet band, master. Greater band of Capricorn +3 to O manipulation platinum. Greater band of Virgo +3 to resilience electrum. Greater band of Cancer +3 to Matak lead. Greater band of Aries +3 to Tatak aluminium. Greater band of Sagittarius +3 to Batak tin. Greater band of Libra +3 to defense pewter. Witch skills of the mighty. Advanced botany. Amulets. Arcane. Broom magic. Coven. Familiar. Forbidden earth rite. Forbidden air rite. Forbidden darkness rite. Forbidden dawn rite. Forbidden dusk rite. Forbidden fire rite. Forbidden water rite. Greater sigils. Rapid calligraphy. Ring mastery, using 2 at once. Stave aging. Summon adolescent dragon. Earrings. Toe rings. Witch skills of the ascendant. Advanced broom magic. Forbidden earth ritual. Ritual means instead of being available every db.2.4. For days etc. that it can be done every day. Forbidden air ritual. Forbidden darkness ritual. Forbidden dawn ritual. Forbidden dusk ritual. Forbidden fire ritual. Forbidden water ritual. Forbidden death rite. Forbidden lightning rite. Forbidden void rite. Master botany. Multiple calligraphy. Summon dragon. Supreme rings. Supreme wands. Twice expand coven. Which skills of the paramount? Disarm all, everyone within visual distance. Imminent destruction. Beckon destruction that happens when spell expiry roll comes up. Paramount rings. Paramount wands. Summon mature dragon. Forbidden metal rite. Forbidden interplanar rite. Forbidden crystal rite. Forbidden death ritual. Forbidden lightning ritual. Forbidden void ritual. Thrice expand coven. Which skills of the divine? Forbidden desolation rite. Forbidden deep ocean rite. Forbidden blood rite. Forbidden metal ritual. Forbidden interplanar ritual. Forbidden crystal ritual. Fivefold expand coven. Which skills of the omega? Forbidden mirror rite. Forbidden Romalize rite. Forbidden flesh rite. Forbidden desolation ritual. Forbidden deep ocean ritual. Forbidden blood ritual. Sevenfold expand coven. Which skills of the alpha? Forbidden sequestration rite. Forbidden ram highs rite. Forbidden essence rite. Forbidden mirror ritual. Forbidden Romalize ritual. Forbidden flesh ritual. Ninefold expand coven.